The opinions and views expressed by individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of this network, their group, or other organization they may be involved with.
I'm looking at myself, reflections of my mind. It's just the kind of day to leave myself behind. So gently swaying through the fairyland of love. If you'll just come with me, you'll see the beauty of Tuesday evening news. Tuesday evening
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Psychedelic Reporters for this Tuesday, the 14th of January, 2025, episode 141. Here on NOK Network, the video news podcast focused on psychedelic medicine being reported in mainstream media. Shout out to the guys in Dead Ringer from Kirkland Lake, Ontario for the awesome intro track, originally recorded by the Booty Blues, with some customized changes for our show. I am joined by my amazing joint host, Tara Simpson, along with the one and only Bufo Various, who has chosen all of our stories for us. Hello, Tara.
Well, hello, hobbies, and hello, everyone. I'd like to take a minute to introduce Bufo. He is our Sonoran desert toad, or Colorado mud toad. Did you know he emits DMT from his skin? And while that sounds like fun, park rangers would like to remind everyone, please don't lick that toad.
Yeah, don't like the toad. Don't like the toad. So I was sitting with Bufo Various, and Bufo almost gave us an article about a frog toad that if you lick, it does the same thing. But it was a very, very short story he was telling me. And then me and him were making a deal that if we see a tree frog, we'd lick it. And now it says don't lick the desert toad. It said nothing about not licking a tree frog.
Right? I again don't know if tree frogs will give you the same effect or if they're even like okay. I guess that's how you fuck around and find out, right?
Right. Well, on the serious note, our first article comes from OPB. And OPB has a story article called How Psychedelics Are Aiding in End-of-Life Care in Oregon by Rolando Hernandez.
Yeah, so this is a really short little blurb because I do believe it goes to a voice interview. But in 2020, Oregons voted to legalize the use of psilocybin mushrooms in a therapeutic setting. This came as fresh research showed promising results of psychedelic therapy for depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and substance use disorder. Now a new kind of patient is seeking out this care, as reported in the New York Times. Some people are seeking psychedelics, such as ketamine and psychedelic mushrooms for palliative care. Andrew St. Jacob is a health and science reporter for the Times. He joins us to share more. And I guess that's the link to the New York Times.
Oh. Yeah, whoa, my bad. I didn't even realize that. Bufo, I would have pointed it out to Bufo. It was just a short article.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up my other. Okay, let's get into another article right away here. And our next article comes to us about New York, and it comes from Marijuana Moment. And on Marijuana Moment, as the story reads, New York bill would legalize psychedelics like psilocybin, mescaline, and ibogaine. And this is written by Kyle Yeager.
Yeah, I like Kyle Yeager. He writes a lot of good articles. Another psychedelic bill has been pre-filed in New York for the 2025 session, this one calling for the legalization of certain entheogens or entheogenic substances such as psilocybin and ibogaine for adults 21 and older. Sponsored by Assembly member Linda Rosenhall, along with 8 co-sponsors, the legislation would amend state statute to make legal the possession, use, cultivation, production, creation, analysis, gifting, exchanging, or sharing by or between natural persons of 21 years of age or older of natural plant or fungus-based hallucinogens. DMT, ibogaine, mescaline, psilocybin, and psilocin would fall under the definition of a natural plant or fungus-based hallucinogens that would be legalized by the bill. Further, the legislation would authorize people to engage in psychedelic services with or without remuneration, as well as use the entheogens in religious ceremonies. State and local law enforcement would be prohibited from cooperating or providing assistance to the federal government for the purpose of enforcing controlled substance laws against activities made legal under state law. Wow, that's cool.
It is really cool. The measure goes on to outline a series of protections people couldn't lose: professional licenses, public assistance, or be denied mental health or behavioral health services simply for using psychedelics, and their lawful use also couldn't be the sole basis for a child welfare investigation. New York localities wouldn't be allowed to enact laws criminalizing psychedelics, but they could adopt and implement legislation and policies which bear directly on or related to natural plant or fungus-based hallucinogens in furtherance of the bill. Wow.
Yeah. Finally, the proposal would remove psilocybin, psilocybin, DMT, mescaline, and ibogaine from the state's banned substance list. The failed war on drugs has led to devastating consequences for people across the nation. A justification memo attached to the bill says the criminalization of certain substances has not only left countless people incarcerated, it also has prevented individuals from accessing natural hallucinogens that can provide relief in battling mental health care problems, substance use disorder, chronic pain, or other health conditions. While the state has taken important steps by legalizing marijuana, more must be done to allow individuals to access the benefits that natural hallucinogens can bring, it says. Years of research into naturally occurring substances has documented their success in alleviating pain, substance use disorder, symptoms associated with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorders, including end-of-life anxiety and other conditions. Rosenhall filed a nearly identical version of the bill in 2023, but it did not advance out of committee. She also introduced legislation in 2022 that would have simply removed psilocybin and psilocin from the state's list of controlled substances, effectively legalizing the compounds. Also, that year, the lawmaker sponsored a measure that would create a psychedelic research institute tasked with studying the therapeutic potential of substances for certain conditions and making policy recommendations. Wow.
Rosenthal's new bill is being introduced just days after another New York lawmaker, Senator Nathaniel Fernandez, Democrat, pre-filed a measure that would legalize psilocybin therapy for patients with qualifying conditions. Under that proposal, people could receive psilocybin treatment from a certified facilitator in a clinical setting or their home if they're unable to travel. Patients and facilitators would receive protections against state level prosecution. Fernandez also filed an earlier version of the bill last session, but it did not move out of committee either. Only minor technical changes have been made in the latest iteration. New York legislators have been pursuing psychedelics reform in a variety of ways over recent years. Last year, for example, Assembly Health Committee Chair Amy Pollard introduced a separate bill to legalize psilocybin for adults, provided they obtain a permit undergoing a health screening and educational course. Oh my.
Yeah. By Caramel, New York lawmakers said in a briefing last year that there was a real chance that legislation to legalize psilocybin assisted therapy would advance through committee, emphasizing that delaying action would neglect many people who need help with certain mental health conditions. That did not ultimately materialize, however. We're in a mental health crisis, and we need every tool that is available to us. Assembly Maker Pat Burke, who sponsored another bill to create a psilocybin therapy pilot program for 10,000 people, said he added that we're here to turn the page on a broader drug war. Meanwhile, New York officials recently announced that the state's legal marijuana market has now surpassed the 1 billion sales mark. Governor Kathy Hochul called the milestone a testament to the hard work of those who helped build the strongest cannabis industry in the nation, one that prioritizes equity, ensures public safety, and empowers communities. The figure reflects total sales since the cannabis market launched more than 2 years ago in late 2022. After a slow rollout marked by lawsuits and other delays, legal marijuana sales in New York have picked up significantly in the past several months. Regulators say it's a result of more licensed businesses opening, as well as what they describe as a successful crackdown on unlicensed shops.
Separately in November, Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes, Democrat, called for state to extend financial aid to retail operators struggling under high-cost loans from Social Equity Fund created as a core part of the legalization program. Later in the month, O'Toole signed 2 new cannabis-related bills into a law, one to revive the Cannabis Grower Showcase program where producers sell products directly to consumers at farmers market style events, another clarifying that cannabis is categorized as an age-frugal crop in the state. The governor argued in June, meanwhile, that there's direct correlation between stepped-up enforcement and dramatically increased legal sales. A report by state officials this year found both growing pains and successful efforts in New York's marijuana market laws. Okay, my bad. My hit kicked in. That was a great article.
Yeah, I like that they're looking at decriminalizing because they recognize yet again that the evidence shows this is helping people.
It is helping people. And our next article comes from Virginia. Democratic lawmakers reintroduce marijuana sales legalization bill that GOP governor vetoed last year. And this also comes from marijuanamoment.com. And Ben wrote this. Right, now we're showing it. Yeah, it was Ben Eldon wrote this. Ben Adlin.
Okay, I've got that as number 4 on my list, but we will go.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, we'll go here.
What? Yeah, that's not the same article I have.
it is not. It was a faulty line. Yeah.
That's all right. We'll go with this one, and then we'll delegate the other one for after the break.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, Indiana lawmakers are already making moves to enact drug policy reform in the 2025 session with newly filed bills to legalize marijuana, allow medical cannabis, and fund psilocybin research. While the prospects of cannabis measures are unclear given the Republican-controlled legislature, historic resistance to...
Hold on, which one are you reading? I got the Virginia one up.
Oh, I'm reading the Indiana one. Well, where the hell are you? You're like.
Let me pull up the real one that's supposed to be up, and then.
Yeah, because I don't even have that one you have.
Okay. Yeah, I must have screwed up somewhere. All right. Where's the? Okay, here it is. This is the one I got up for the next one. It's all right. This one is come from Vox. That's the next one you got, right?
Yes, this is exciting.
Okay, so this comes from Vox. And why are so many men doing ayahuasca? So it says, from Aaron Rodgers to industry, this psychedelic brew is having a cultural moment with dudes. And here's why. And it was written by Kendall Cunningham.
Yeah, so former Buffalo Bill Jordan Poyer heard New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers extol the benefits of ayahuasca on the Pat McAfee show in 2023. He was suspicious but intrigued. Poyer has been struggling with his marriage and recovery from alcoholism. And after hearing Rodgers discuss plant medicine as the psychoactive brew is commonly described among acolytes, he decided to give it a try. To apparently life-changing results, Poyer relays all of this in his recent Netflix documentary, Aaron Rodgers, Enigma, which looks at the mystery of possibly retiring Super Bowl champion. Rodgers isn't just any athlete partaking in psychedelics and inspiring others to do the same. He seems to be drawn to fringe concepts. He expresses anti-vax views and is a good friend of public health conspiracists Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Sorry, I have a really hard time reading this with a straight face because of my personal views. I'm with these guys, man. He's reportedly shown interest in 9/11 and Sandy Hook's conspiracy theories, and the latter of which he has denied. He believes that HIV/AIDS was invented by the government. Of course it was. Yet the 41-year-old self-professed perfectionist enthusiasm for ayahuasca in particular feels predictable for an increasingly mainstream category of men he represents. Wealthy dudes who are obsessed with self-improvement and rely on their own research to an often troubling degree. Likewise, a growing number of tech CEOs like OpenAI's Sam Altman have raved about the transformative experience of taking ayahuasca, which has supposedly increased their productivity, creativity, and leadership skills. Controversial bro science guys like spiritual wellness advocate Aubrey Marcus, also in Rogers' documentary, have expressed similar enthusiasm. Marcus, who wrote the self-help books On the Day, or Own the Day, Own Your Life, and Master Your Mind, Master Your Life, recently made a film about the psychedelic ritual. Elon Musk and controversial computer scientist Lex Friedman also took it together. Definitely podcast bro Joe Rogan has been an advocate for ayahuasca for years.
Still, the drug seems to have reached some kind of cultural tipping point. Even film and television have seen their fair share of men tripping out on the drug recently, from Oscar bait movies like Queer to semi-prestige shows like Industry to cast members on Bravo reality shows, almost always depicting the ironically feminine drug being taken by men. While there are some notable women who've partaken in ayahuasca rituals, including comedian Chelsea Handler, who said it led her to seek out therapy, and Lindsay Lohan, who said it changed her life. The increasingly male pop cultural footprint of ayahuasca use in Western culture has recently given the ancient drugs a more cynical reputation. Also oh, whoa. I hit the thing. You want to continue?
It's popularly known as YAG. Ayahuasca has been used for thousands of years by indigenous people in Peru, Brazil, Colombia, and Ecuador. The bitter-tasting herbal drink is made by boiling stem and bark from the Banisteropus capi vine and the leaves of the Psychotria viridis shrub, which contains strong psychedelic drugs like DMT. Also known for its purgative qualities, a typical experience entails about 4 to 6 hours of crying, sweating, vomiting, and or diarrhea, all while experiencing intense hallucinations. Alison Fiducia, the founder of the drug and safety organization Psychedelic Support, says that historically ayahuasca's healing potential ranged from many different physical ailments to psychological issues. However, it's increasingly become known for its effect on mental health. I would say that the most known properties that people seek ayahuasca for in modern day are healing of past traumas, depression, addiction disorders, and grief, Fiducia says.
The common selling point for ayahuasca is that it's supposedly like 10 years of therapy in one day. Likewise, much of the market for ayahuasca retreats, including the notable number of all male ones, lists growth, purpose, brotherhood, and vulnerability as some of the results that participants can gain from the experience. Retreats also emphasize a connection to nature. There seems to be some truth to these claims of psychological improvement. A 2018 observational study found that participants who partook in ayahuasca sessions showed improved emotional regulation and capacities for mindfulness 24 hours after intake. In another study, LGBTQ participants said they left the ritual feeling more affirmed about their identities. Researchers have also found that can reduce depression. According to some testimonials, it seems the relative convenience of ayahuasca is a draw for a certain type of man who lives an optimized life and maybe wants to shortcut long-term traditional therapy. Rogers highlights this feature in his docu-series calling the hardest medicine possible. Powerful businessmen like investor Eddie Weisberg and Cobe CEO Felix Van de Sande have talked about the experience in terms of making them better people, therefore better workers. Wow.
It's even less of a surprise that these drugs are popular among men who claim to possess the most knowledge and creativity in society. Cultural historian Mike Jay, who wrote High Society Mind-Altering Drugs in History and Culture, says psychedelics have always been attractive to people who see themselves as powerful or exceptional and are thus drawn to the magical possibilities. The psychedelic adept is seen as someone creative and inspired, a Promethean figure who is not afraid of reaching for godlike status, Jay says. The trend of rich and powerful men turning to ayahuasca has become a noticeable trope in film and TV over the past year. If one that often highlights the limitations of the medicine and the people taking it. In the latest season of the HBO financial drama industry, banker Robert Spearing, Harry Lottie, is dragged into an ayahuasca ceremony with his client, an arrogant and underqualified venture capitalist named Henry Muck, played by Kit Harington. Little to no gravity is applied to Robert's hallucinations, including his mommy and work-related issues. A reminder that those unfamiliar with the experience have no idea what kind of insight ayahuasca users are actually receiving during these trips. In one ridiculous moment, he sees a scrolling ticker with the words, "Eat it," referring to a scene in season 1 where his dominating love interest, Yasmin, Marissa Abella, orders him to consume his own semen. When they both emerge from their respective trips, Henry tells Robert that they have to find a way to monetize this. Cast members from Bravo's reality shows have also participated in ayahuasca ceremonies. Specifically, some of the more problematic men elicit eye-rolling and skepticism from their cast members and audience. On the latest season of Bravo's series Southern Charm, the show's main F-boy, 45-year-old Chef Rose, goes to an ayahuasca retreat after being confronted by the cast for his excessive drinking and belligerent behavior. When he returns in the current season, he's somehow less aware of the effects of his actions on his friends. A similar situation played out on Bravo's The Valley, where cast member Jesse Laley decides to save his marriage by leaving his family for several days to attend an ayahuasca ceremony. It doesn't work.
The Lucas Squad did Gino film Queer, adapted from William Burroughs' 1985 novella of the same name, also features two men who attempt that healing through ayahuasca go terribly wrong. In the film's third act, two emotionally distant lovers go to Ecuador and consume the fruit, hoping to lose their inhibitions and embark on an unconstrained romance, despite telepathy communicating with one another and figuratively vomiting their hearts out. It doesn't bring them any closer. So how did ayahuasca become such a man-coded trend? Jay says that in the West, the area of psychedelics has always been male-dominated from the discoveries by figures like Aldous Huxley, Albert Hoffman, and R. Gordon Wasson in the first half of the 20th century to its wider use throughout the counterculture movement. Psychedelics emerged from a culture where men still dominated the world. Science and medicine and self-experimenting with drugs was seen as heroic and pioneering, says J. The counterculture was similar to the scientific world that preceded it, and the tech business world is rooted in the same assumptions. He says that women always had an invisible role in the science. However, traditional gender roles made it harder for women to undertake these experiments, which involve public misinterpretation or episodes that might be seen as psychotic. Meanwhile, men, particularly those of high social standing, did not face repercussions for exhibiting undignified behavior. Wow.
Yeah. Privilege and social capital made it easier to just carry off and to carry it off and be taken seriously, Jay says. For those who have marginalized identities, it's more harshly judged or seen as the mark of an unstable character. This thread of privilege is evident in those who is most comfortable partaking in ayahuasca ceremonies, which are formally set abroad in remote locations. With psychedelics not being legal in the United States, a lot of women with children might not want to take that type of risk, says Fiducia. Women might not be able to get away from home to take these trips to the Amazon. She also references the number of women who have spoken out about the sexual abuse that can occur during these types of spiritual retreats, in addition to general concerns about safety when traveling. In a 2022 report for the BBC, a New Zealand woman describes going to an ayahuasca retreat where she was the only single woman and being coerced by the male shaman into performing sexual acts. This all might help explain why the recent real and fictional depictions of male ayahuasca use are notably quite cynical. From queer to industry to the valley, and they defy the notion that the drug is automatically transformative or positive for each of its consumers. If you're a toxic husband, greedy capitalist, or emotionally repressed individual, the potion may not have much to offer you. In fact, it may just make you more insufferable and limited person. Out of all of these examples, though, Rogers Dosaries might be the worst advertisement for dudes taking ayahuasca. In between interviews of the quarterback discussing how the drug has positively affected his life, viewers are bombarded with sound bites of Rogers disputing vaccine research and scenes of him mingling with controversial figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Despite Poyer's apparent success, Rogers still seems to be doggedly searching, trying to find enough self-love to make it through his 20th season in the NFL, even with a torn Achilles tendon. It's telling that despite his claims of the drug's effectiveness, he's partaken in the rituals a staggering 10 times. While ayahuasca seems to have some healing powers, it could definitely use better publicity. So that sounds like they really just don't like Aaron Rodgers. That's kind of what I got. Like his experience was positive, but yet they're bringing up all these like TV shows where the TV characters are going to do this. Like that's not exactly research. I don't know.
No, right. Yeah, I don't know. It was a good article. I always like reading about how, like, professionals are taking drugs and all that stuff, and
yeah,
or medicine actually. Which brings us to medication time.
That's right, folks. It's time to pay some bills, so stay tuned for a word from some of our sponsors, and then we'll return with more articles that Bufo has chosen, making mainstream media news.
back in 4 minutes and 20 seconds here on the Psychedelic Reporters on NOK Network.
Advertising space available at NOK. Contact us for a rate sheet at NOKNetwork.com.
Discover the treasure trove of flavors at Miss Jolly's Munchie Factory. Satisfy your cravings with our award-winning treats. Follow us on Instagram at Captain Rogers 705. Let Miss Jolly's Munchie Factory lift your spirits. Experience the comforting embrace of our freshly prepared soups and infused cornbread.
Join us for NOK Network monthly specials, 12 months a year. Movie nights, spotlights on entertainment, and live on location coverage. Stay up to date about upcoming programming by subscribing to NOK Network on Rumble, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Facebook. Check out our webpage at www.noknetwork.com.
Hey, hi, my name is John Mark, aka Sublimator Warrior, and I would like to welcome you to Smoke Signal in Tyndinaga.
One dab make your whole dome drip sweat. One dab make the homies all dip set.
Smoke Signals, Tyndinaga.
Smoke Signals, Tyndinaga.
Smoke Signals, Tyndinaga.
Ooey, ooey, gooey, that's a sticky dab. Might just have to put this one on Instagram.
Smoke Signals, Tyndinaga.
Hold it in, feel it in your wrist.
Smoke Signals, Tyndinaga.
Check us out in Tyndinaga. 55 Highway 49 in Tyndinaga. It's on the res, and we're open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week.
Tune in daily to NOK Network's diverse podcasting lineup. Ganja News Update, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern with Tara Simpson and Ron McNabb. Waking Up with the Waniac, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with Tombstoner Wayne Cruz from Tombstone, Arizona. Grow 420, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern with Ron McNabb. Psychedelic Reporters, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with Hobbies Puppets and Tara Simpson. Peace, News and Views, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with Sir Stevo and Kim Cooper. Thursdays we have Open Your Eye with Kim Cooper and Tara Simpson, 8 p.m. Eastern. Followed by Thursday Night Vibes at 9:15 p.m. Eastern with Master and Mama Rochi. The IWK 710 Daily Sesh airs 7 nights a week with our rotating joint hosts, nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in to all the podcasting on NOK Network.
Dudettes, enjoy the show, man.
And we're back from our medication session live on Psychedelic Reporters here on NOK Network.
And we have another set of stories coming at you from the realm of psychedelic medicine. So let's get at it. Our next story comes from Marijuana Moment. And it says Indiana lawmakers file bills to legalize marijuana and fund psilocybin research in 2025. And this is written by Kyle Yeager.
Yeah, Indiana lawmakers are already making moves to enact drug policy reform in the 2025 session with newly filed bills to legalize marijuana and allow medical cannabis and fund psilocybin research. While the prospects of cannabis measures are unclear given the Republican-controlled legislative historic renaissance to reform, the psychedelic legislation would simply provide the necessary funding for an already enacted law promoting psilocybin research. Senate Bill 113. Senator Rodney Pohl has introduced legislation that would legalize marijuana for recreational and medical purposes in the state. The bill would establish a regulatory framework for excise tax for cannabis while creating an Indiana Cannabis Commission and Advisory Committee to oversee the program. It would also facilitate research into marijuana and provide for the expungement of criminal records for offenses made legal under the reform. According to a fiscal note from the Legislative Services Agency, enacting the bill would generate between $46.6 million and $92.6 million in FY 2026 and $50.8 million and $101.7 million in 2027 from sales and excise tax and permit fees. Wow.
Yeah, why is right, because despite the GOP-controlled legislature's history on marijuana policy reform, some suspect the tides might change in 2025. Part of that enthusiasm comes from the fact that Governor-elect Mike Brown recently said that it's probably time to allow therapeutic cannabis, access to therapeutic cannabis. Why? Too stoned to read this. What the heck? All right, where is it? I just pulled it. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, here it is. Okay. Can you take over? I just overscrolled.
However, despite a recent survey showing nearly 9 in 10 Indiana adults support legalizing medical marijuana, Republican leaders in the legislature are pushing back against the idea. It's no secret that I am not for this, Senate President Pro Tem Roderick Bray said last month. I don't have people coming into me with really compelling medical cases as to why it's so beneficial. And any state that I've seen pass medical marijuana is essentially passing recreational marijuana. House Speaker Todd Hudson, meanwhile, doubted any medical benefit associated with marijuana, calling this substance a deterrent to mental health. He and others suggested that lawmakers supportive of the reform merely want to boost state revenue.
Meanwhile, in Indiana, an organization led by the former head of state's Republican Party is pushing lawmakers to adopt what it's calling safe and what keeps popping up? And regulated policies on marijuana. An interim study group had heard testimony around the possibility of decriminalizing simple cannabis possession last November, but the group did not make any specific recommendations. House Bill 1332, legislation sponsored by Republican Blake Johnson, would also establish a regulatory framework for adult use marijuana with Cannabis Commission charged with overseeing the program. Or marijuana would be subject to 10% excise tax in addition to the state's 7%. I keep jumping. Can you take over?
Revenue to the state general fund is estimated to increase between $41.9 million and $82.1 million per year from sales taxes on marijuana, according to a fiscal note. Also, the bill establishes the non-reverting cannabis regulation fund, which could receive between $60.4 million and $118.5 million per year from the cannabis excise tax and permit fee revenue. It would also impose new penalties for mislabeling hemp products and selling or transporting cannabis to minors. House Bill 1145, under the newly filed bill from Republican Heath Van Natter, it would no longer be a crime to possess up to 2 ounces of cannabis or grow plants with more than 2 ounces. The proposal would also increase the felony threshold for possession, raising it from 30 grams to 4 ounces. House Bill 1178, Republican Jim Lucas and Shane Lindauer introduced legislation to create a medical cannabis program for Indiana for people with serious medical conditions as determined by their physician. The State Department of Health would be responsible for regulating the program. The legislation would also take steps to prevent harassment of medical marijuana users by law enforcement officers and prohibit cooperation with federal law enforcement officials seeking to enforce federal laws that criminalize the use of marijuana authorized in Indiana, according to the summary.
House Bill 1166 on the psychedelics front, a new bill from Reps Justin Moed and Jake Heska would appropriate a total of $600,000 in 2025 and 2026 fiscal years to support an existing psilocybin research program that was enacted under a bill signed by outgoing Governor Eric Holcomb, Republican, last month. Under the law, the state was tasked with creating a therapeutic psilocybin research fund for the purpose of providing financial assistance to research institutions in Indiana to study the use of psilocybin to treat mental health and other medical conditions. Any research receiving funding under the legislation will need to include veterans and first responders regarding in the study sample.
Yes, researchers will need to apply to the State Department of Health to receive funds to study the substance as a treatment for conditions, several of which are specified in the bill as introduced: post-traumatic stress disorder, with a focus on treating the disorder in combat veterans, first responders, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, chronic pain, and migraines. A state-created study committee has recommended that lawmakers authorize a psilocybin pilot program to research psychedelic-assisted therapy for mental health during the year's legislative session, advising that the Indiana General Assembly take an approach that strikes a balance between access, research, and prudence.
So awesome. So awesome. Indiana was one of them silent states, and now they're vocal.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing, I think, more of that as things change, especially in the U.S. with their political landscape.
Yep. And our next article comes from Minnesota. I'm going to say the title is, and you can get into it as I bring it up. Right now, this is from bringmethenews.com from Minnesota. Task Force recommends decriminalizing magic mushrooms. A legislative report shows that 2/3 of the task force is in support, and this is written by Tommy Witta.
Yeah, a Minnesota task force released a lengthy report on New Year's Day recommending the decriminalization of magic mushrooms. The 191-page report was issued by the Psychedelic Medicine Task Force, which advises state lawmakers on the legal, medicinal, and policy issues associated with legalization of psychedelic medicine in the state. Around 2/3 of the 23-member task force recommends the following for Minnesota's legislature, according to the report. Create a state-regulated medical program for the therapeutic use of psilocybin-containing mushrooms. Remove criminal penalties for the personal use and possession of psilocybin-containing mushrooms. And allocate funding for more research into the health benefits of MDMA, psilocybin, and LSD. Members of the task force include state agency leaders, legislators, representatives of the Dakota and Ojibwe tribes, and members of the public representing healthcare professionals and patients. Psilocybin has shown promising results in treating anxiety and depression for those who are terminally ill and help with nicotine and alcohol dependence, according to the Alcohol and Drug Foundation.
While the report states it presses for funding towards research into psilocybin, LSD, and other two were not recommended for decriminalization and clinical trials. And although the task force is in favor of decriminalizing possession, it also stopped short of recommending that Minnesota legalize retail sales of magic mushrooms for recreational use, which did not get a 2/3 of supermajority vote. The national landscape regarding psychedelic medicine is rapidly evolving. Because of this, there could be changes in research, federal policy, religious practice, or other areas that may alter best practices. Altercations that may even render parts of this report obsolete or irrelevant in the future. The report reads, this task force cannot accurately predict where these fields will go, and so it encourages lawmakers to stay flexible and adapt to the rapid pace at which this field continues to evolve. Currently, only Oregon, Colorado have regulated the use of psychedelic medicines. That's a beautiful picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of the article.
That is. That was a good one, too. It sounds like that they're also looking at, making them medicinally accessible.
And medicinally accessible is pretty cool. But it's only research at this time, right? Wasn't that? No, that is decriminalizing so they can do research. Well, speaking of research, our next article comes from Sociedelic.com. And this was actually referred to us from the trip sitters. And I and Bufus went and checked this out, and we found psilocybin mushrooms biohacking your brain. Shroom caps can boost productivity. Boost your productivity with the power of psilocybin. Learn how shroom caps can enhance your mental clarity and focus. This is the NOK in Grasa. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in today's fast-paced world, people are constantly looking for ways to boost their mental and physical performance. One increasingly popular method is biohacking, which involves taking small incremental changes to your lifestyle and diet to improve overall health and efficiency. A particularly intriguing trend within biohacking is the use of psilocybin mushrooms. These mushrooms are reputed for their ability to enhance productivity, creativity, and general well-being. But what exactly is biohacking, and how do psilocybin mushrooms fit into this movement? And this is a pretty long table of contents. I'm not going to read all the chapters off. Biohacking encompasses a broad range of practices from intermittent fasting to nootropics, all aimed at enhancing the body's natural functions. Psilocybin mushrooms have become a notable part of this trend because of their potential to positively impact mental clarity and emotional balance. When used in microdoses, these mushrooms can provide subtle but powerful benefits, making them an attractive option for those seeking to optimize their day-to-day functioning. And understanding microdosing. Microdosing is the practice of taking very small amounts of the substance to achieve a subtle but noticeable effect. It's a method that allows users to gain the benefit of psilocybin mushrooms without experiencing the intense effects associated with a full dose. For beginners, this can be an ideal way to dip their toes into the world of psychedelics while maintaining their daily routines. When microdosing psilocybin mushrooms, users typically report improvement in mood, enhanced focus, and a boost in creativity. These effects are not overwhelming, but can significantly enhance one's quality of life. Many professionals and creatives find that microdosing helps them stay productive, generate new ideas, and maintain a positive outlook. Microdosing is also gaining in popularity due to its potential to support mental health. Some users have found relief from anxiety and depression, while others use it to gain fresh perspective on personal and professional challenges. The key to successful microdosing is consistency and finding the right dosage that works for you. Starting with a low and gradually adjusting it can help you to discover the perfect balance that enhances your day-to-day life without causing any disruptions.
Professional and creative success stories. Many entrepreneurs and professionals have turned to psilocybin mushrooms to enhance their productivity. For example, Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, has spoken publicly about his use of microdosing to stay focused and creative. Similarly, Silicon Valley executives have been known to use psychedelics to gain a competitive edge in the demanding careers. These success stories highlight the potential of microdosing to improve professional performance. Artists, writers, and other creatives have also found success with psilocybin mushrooms. Renowned writer and artist Amanda Palmer credits microdosing with helping her overcome creative blocks and maintain a steady flow of ideas. By using psilocybin mushrooms, creatives can tap into a deeper level of inspiration and produce their best work. Mushrooms and biohacking movement. Psilocybin mushrooms have quickly become a popular choice in biohacking community due to their convenience and effectiveness. The precise dosing and long shelf use of the mushrooms make them an ideal supplement for anyone looking to enhance their mental performance. Market trends show a growing interest in natural supplements like psilocybin mushrooms, indicating their significant role in the future of biohacking. Today, psilocybin mushrooms are popular for their use in microdosing. Modern users appreciate the mushroom's ability to enhance creativity, improve mood, and increase productivity. Scientific research has also begun to uncover the potential health benefits of psilocybin, the active compound in these mushrooms, further boosting their popularity. Huh.
Yeah, historical background of psilocybin mushrooms. Psilocybin mushrooms have a rich history of use in various cultures around the world. Traditionally, these mushrooms were used for their spiritual and healing properties. Ancient cultures believed that psilocybin mushrooms could provide insight, clarity, and a deeper connection to the world around them. Many users of psilocybin mushrooms report a deep connection to the history and cultural significance of these mushrooms. Personal stories from users often highlight profound experiences and a sense of spiritual awakening. This cultural significance adds an extra layer of meaning to the use of psilocybin mushrooms, making them more than just a productivity tool. Boosting creativity with psilocybin mushrooms. For creative professionals, psilocybin mushrooms can be a game changer. Practical tips for using psilocybin mushrooms to boost creativity include setting a clear intention before taking a dose, creating a conducive environment for creative work, and keeping a journal to track your experiences and ideas. These strategies can help you tap into a deeper level of inspiration and produce your best work.
The science behind psilocybin and creativity. The science behind psilocybin and its effect on creativity is fascinating. Psilocybin works by interacting with serotonin receptors in the brain, which can lead to increased neural activity and enhanced cognitive flexibility. Scientific studies have shown that psilocybin can promote a divergent thinking, a key component of creativity. This makes psilocybin mushrooms an excellent tool for anyone looking to boost their creative output. Mushroom capsules, a game changer for your productivity. Mushroom capsules, particularly those made in golden teacher mushrooms, offer a convenient and effective way to experience the benefits of psilocybin. With their precise dosing and easy to use format, these capsules are perfect for anyone looking to enhance their mental performance within the hassle of preparing and consuming fresh mushrooms. These capsules are available from our partners at Yada Yada La. Each cap contains a precise amount of dried truffles designed to boost energy, mental clarity, focus, and creativity. With a microdose schedule of 2 days and 1 day off, you can feel the balance, keep your mind sharp. In addition to their mental benefits, mushroom capsules offer a convenient storage up to 6 months for longer than fresh truffles. Vegan, natural, currently golden teacher caps are available with 2 additional strains, Mexicana and High Hawaiians. We'll just skip that part. Do you want to talk about the Fadiman protocol?
The what?
The Fadiman protocol?
I've never heard of this, but yeah. So the Fadiman protocol, named after Dr. James Fadiman, this protocol involves taking a microdose every 3rd day. This means you dose on day 1, take a break on day 2 and day 3, and then dose again on day 4. This schedule helps avoid tolerance and allows you to observe the lingering effects on non-dosing days. So it gives an example of, day 1, take it, then nothing 2 or 3, day 4, dose again, then nothing day 5, day 6, and then dose again on day 7. And then there's the Stamets stack. Developed by the mycologist Paul Stamets, this protocol includes microdosing for 4 consecutive days, followed by 3 days off. Additionally, it often involves combining psilocybin with other nootropics like lion's mane and niacin to help enhance neurogenesis and cognitive function. So he gives an example, day 1 through 4, you're taking it, and then nothing 5, 6, 7, and then repeat the protocol.
Oh, yeah. The microdosing Institute protocol. This protocol suggests microdosing every other day, providing a simple and easy to follow routine that's particularly suitable for beginners who are new to microdosing and looking to understanding the response to psilocybin. Example schedule is 1 day dose, day 2 no dose, day 3 dose, day 4 no dose, and repeat. Adjust gradually. After starting with a low dose, you can gradually increase the amount if needed. Pay attention how you feel and make adjustments slowly to find the right dose that works for you. Stay hydrated. Drinking plenty of water is important. When microdosing, to stay hydrated and help your body process the mushrooms effectively. Take with food. Consuming the capsules with food can help minimize any potential digestive discomfort. A light snack or meal should be sufficient. Track your experience. Keep a journal to record your doses, how you feel, and if any effects you notice. This can help you fine tune your regimen and ensure that you're getting the most of your microdosing practice. Be mindful of tolerance. Taking regular breaks from microdosing helps prevent tolerance. For instance, if you're following the fattening protocol, you naturally have days off built into your schedule. Ensure these breaks are adhered to. By following these guidelines and choosing a microdosing protocol that fits your lifestyle, you can effectively integrate psilocybin mushrooms into your routine and enjoy the benefits while maintaining a healthy balance.
Yeah, challenges and overcoming them. While microdosing with psilocybin offers many benefits, it can also present some challenges. Common issues include difficulty in finding the right dosage and potential side effects like headache or digestive discomfort. To overcome these challenges, it's important to start with a low dose and gradually increase it until you find what works best for you. Additionally, staying hydrated and taking mushrooms with food can help minimize side effects. In conclusion, psilocybin mushrooms offer a powerful way to enhance your productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. By incorporating these mushrooms into your daily routine, you can experience the many benefits of microdosing and unlock your full potential. Whether you're a professional looking to boost your focus or creativity, seeking inspiration, psilocybin mushrooms can help you to achieve your goal. And that was a very good article.
It was, and I feel this the Danute in Krasnatu guy would be great for your guys' Open Your Eyes show.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of that on Open Your Eye.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait. Oh, thank you for joining us here on NOK Psychedelic Reporters on NOK Network, for tuning in into our video podcast on NOK Network's Rumble and YouTube pages, as well as our social media sites.
That's right. We hope you've enjoyed your update today on mainstream media coverage of psychedelic medicine advancements from around the globe.
Many thanks to our sponsors and to my joint hosts, Tara Simpson, and to Bufo Various for choosing the stories, and to you, the listener, for joining each week on Psychedelic Tuesday. Let's hear from Dead Ringer again from Kirkland Lake on our way out. Bye!
Looking at myself, reflections of my mind. It's just the kind of day to leave myself behind. So gently swaying through the fairyland of love. If you'll just come with me, you'll see the beauty of two.